Okay, the laws of logs is important because we're going to use it in section 4.5. It's in section 4.4, and in 4.4 they're just teaching you how to condense and expand a log. Now remember that the laws of logs, how related to exponents that logs are. So if you remember your rules for exponents, you'll probably be able to catch on to these laws pretty easily. All right, so the first rule, I'm going to call it the product rule, because remember that when you're multiplying exponents, if you've got like bases and you're multiplying exponents, you add the exponents. It's the same thing with the law of logs. So if I've got some log and some base and I'm multiplying, then to expand the log, I would add. Okay, the second rule is the quotient rule. In exponents, if you've got like bases and you're dividing, you would subtract the exponents. That's what we're going to do here. So we've got log base b, and if I've got some argument divided by another argument, that means to separate it or expand it, I would subtract. All right, and then the third rule, the third law that you're going to need to know is it's the power rule. And remember, if you've got an exponent and you've got a power raised to a power, so let's just say we had x squared and that was raised to a power. All right, what would I do here? Well, I would multiply these exponents, and that would give me x to the 8th. All right, the power rule, if I've got some log and I've got the argument and it's raised to a power, my power rule tells me that I can bring that power out front and multiply it. So I'm going to bring that power out front. It's going to be n times log base b of m. All right, so these are my 3 laws of logs, and I'm going to do this. I'm going to do a couple problems in the book just so you can see how to condense and expand the laws, especially if you've got radicals or anything like that. So let's expand first. All right, so I'm going to do just an easy one to begin with. So this is number 24, and this is section 4.4. All right, so this is 24, and I've got log base 6 of 7r. All right, if I'm going to expand this, I have to separate all my factors. So this is going to be, and they're multiplying here, so that means I'm going to add. I'm going to use this first law of logs. So this is going to be log base 6 of 7 plus, since I'm multiplying, I'm going to add log base 6. My log and my base aren't going to change of r. And so that is expanded. All right, now if they throw something in like a radical, so this is log of the square root of t to the 5th. Okay, the first thing you want to do is get rid of that radical. Now remember that the square root of x, to write that with an exponent, not a radical, an exponent is to write it as a fractional exponent. So the square root would be x to the 1/2, or the cube root would be x to the 1/3. Okay, so if I've got this, the first thing I'm going to do is get rid of that radical. So I've got log of t to the 5th, and I'm going to raise it to the 1/2 because that's my square root. That's taking care of that radical. Now I'm going to use my power rule, what tells me I can multiply these two powers. So this is going to be log of t, and then 5 times 1/2 is 5 halves. And then if I'm expanding that, this is my third rule, I'm going to bring that power out front. So this power is going to come out front. So in expanded form, this is 5 halves log of t. Okay? I'm going to do one more that might cause some confusion, and I don't want y'all to miss these. All right, so I've got ln of r divided by 3s. Okay, Now, if I'm looking at this problem, I've got a numerator, denominator. I've got two factors in the denominator that I have to separate. So this is going to be the natural log of r. Then since I am dividing, I'm going to subtract. Now you have two options here. I'm going to subtract, but I'm going to subtract. I've got two factors in the bottom. So I'm going to write a parenthesis here so you can see what I'm doing. So now I've got the natural log of 3 plus the natural log of s, because I have to split those two factors up. Now, if I wanted to write this without parentheses, I would write the natural log of r minus the natural log of 3 minus the natural log of s. Basically, all I'm doing here is distributing that negative since I was dividing both of those factors. So if you don't write a parentheses, you have to write your minus 2 times. If you do write a parentheses, then you can just leave it like that. Okay, I'm going to stop this here and then I'll expand some. I'll condense them in my next video.